Why so many Americans are moving to Ireland. Right now, over 40,000 Americans are actively planning their escape to Ireland. And it's not just for the Guinness. In the past 18 months, U.S. applications for Irish residency have skyrocketed by 89%. Social media is flooded with, "I'm moving to Ireland" videos. TikTok influencers film themselves crying tears of joy in front of the cliffs of Moher, acting like they've found paradise. But here's what nobody's telling you about this mass exodus. Ireland isn't the emerald dream you've been sold. There's a housing crisis, so severe that locals are literally protesting American immigrants. Rents are higher than Manhattan in some cities. And the Irish government just announced shocking new restrictions that could slam the door shut on your Celtic fantasy. So before you book that one-way flight to Dublin, you need to hear these 4 brutal truths that the romanticized Instagram posts conveniently leave out. Before we begin, please subscribe to ensure that you never miss out on any of my essential stuff. Comment, "I subscribe" below, and I will personally welcome you to our community. With that said, let's get started. Meet Sarah Thompson, 34 years old, from Denver. She sold her house, quit her office job for a remote tech position, and moved to Dublin in July 2024. She expected charm, culture, and a lower cost of living than Colorado. The reality? She spent 4 months living in Airms, burning through €2,400 a month. That's $2,600 for a tiny studio apartment. Why? Because Irish landlords wouldn't rent to her. No Irish job history, no Irish credit score, no Irish references. Doesn't matter that she had $80,000 in her bank account. Nobody would take her. And Sarah's not alone. According to Ireland's Central Statistics Office, as of 2024, the average rent in Dublin is now €2,100 per month. That's higher than Los Angeles, higher than Chicago. For comparison, the Irish minimum wage is €12.70 per hour. Do the math. Someone working full-time at minimum wage can't even afford a studio apartment in their own capital city. Nationwide, there are only 2,700 rental properties available in the entire country right now. That's for a population of 5.1 million people. And homelessness? Up 32% since 2022. So while Americans flee high housing costs at home, they're accidentally making Ireland unaffordable for the Irish themselves. In Galway, locals held protests in September 2024. Signs reading, "Yankees go home." Not a joke, actual anger. Because when remote workers making 6-figure American salaries compete with Irish teachers and nurses for housing, guess who gets priced out? Irish Housing Minister Darragh O'Brien stated publicly in October 2024, "We cannot accommodate everyone who wants to live here. Our infrastructure is at breaking point." But the housing nightmare? That's just the tip of the iceberg. Wait until you hear what the Irish tax system does to your American income. James Martinez, 41, from Austin, moved to Cork in March 2024, kept his $140,000 a year remote job with a U.S. tech company, thought he'd just pay Irish taxes and be done with it. The IRS had other plans. Here's the thing Americans don't realize. We are the only nationality in the world that must file and potentially pay taxes in our home country, even while living abroad. Yeah, you heard that right. Italian expats? Free from Italian taxes. German expats? Don't owe Germany a cent. But Americans? Uncle Sam follows you everywhere. So here's what James actually pays. Irish income tax, up to 40% on earnings over €42,000. He makes way more than that, so he's in the top bracket. Then there's PRSI, Ireland's version of Social Security, 4%. Then USC, the Universal Social Charge, up to 8%. And then he still has to file U.S. federal taxes. Now, there's something called the foreign tax credit, which reduces what he owes America, but it doesn't eliminate it, especially with Ireland's higher threshold before top tax rates kick in. The result? James pays an effective tax rate of 48% when you combine both countries. Plus, he shells out $3,200 every year to accountants just to file his taxes correctly in 2 jurisdictions. According to the 2024 Americans Abroad Tax Survey, 38% of U.S. expats in Ireland have seriously considered renouncing their citizenship because of the tax burden alone. But renouncing costs $2,350, takes 18 months, and you still owe taxes on everything up until renunciation. Oh, and one more thing. If you forget to report your Irish bank account to FinCEN, that's the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, fines start at $10,000 per account. So yeah, living the dream just got expensive. Okay, so housing is impossible and taxes are brutal. But surely the legendary Irish friendliness makes up for it, right? Well, about that. Emily Chun, 29, from San Francisco, moved to Limerick in January 2024. Her grandmother was from Cork, so Emily grew up hearing stories about the old country. She was excited to connect with her roots, experience authentic Irish culture, finally feel at home. Within 6 months, she felt completely isolated. Here's the uncomfortable truth that nobody posts on Instagram. Ireland has the 4th highest rate of emigration in the entire European Union. Irish young people themselves are leaving in droves for Australia, Canada, the UK. The country is hemorrhaging its own citizens. And that pub culture you've romanticized, it's not everyone's your friend and will sing folk songs together. It's tight-knit groups who've known each other since primary school. They're polite to you, sure, but that doesn't mean you're invited. Emily tried. She attended 12 different meetup events for expats. Almost all of them were other Americans sitting around complaining about Ireland. A 2024 study from Trinity College Dublin found that 67% of American immigrants reported feeling less integrated after 2 years in Ireland than immigrants from other EU countries. Researchers attributed it to unrealistic expectations and cultural mismatch. Irish sociologist Dr. Aoife O'Sullivan explains it perfectly. Ireland is extremely clannish. We're warm to tourists, but American immigrants who expect instant community are often disappointed. It can take 5 to 10 years to truly integrate, if you ever do. And then there's the weather. Dublin averages 151 rainy days per year. In winter, you get about 7 hours of daylight. Vitamin D deficiency affects 68% of the Irish population, according to the Irish Medical Journal in 2023. Seasonal depression is rampant. But here's the kicker. While Americans romanticize Ireland online, actual Irish citizens are suffering. Hospital emergency room wait times average 12 hours. Mental health services have 18-month wait lists. The Irish Times reported in August 2024 that 34% of young Irish people plan to emigrate within the next 5 years. So the country Americans are desperately trying to get into, the locals are desperately trying to get out of. So with all these problems, housing crisis, tax nightmares, cultural isolation, terrible weather, crumbling infrastructure, why are Americans still flooding in? The answer is darker than you think. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Many Americans aren't moving to Ireland. They're running from America. 2024 Pew Research found that 72% of Americans considering emigration cite political polarization as a primary reason. 54% cite healthcare costs. 41% cite fears around gun violence. This isn't about chasing a dream. It's about escaping a nightmare. The U.S. State Department reported that 8,023 Americans renounced their citizenship in 2023 alone, up 238% from 2019. Take the Johnson family from Minnesota. Moved to Sligo in May 2024 after their daughter's elementary school had its 3rd active shooter lockdown drill in a single month. We weren't chasing an Irish dream, Michael, the dad, admits. We were escaping an American nightmare. We just wanted our kids to go to school without fear. And the Irish government knows this desperation is driving the surge, which is why they announced in September 2024 that they're considering a points-based immigration system similar to Canada's. Americans would need to qualify based on specific skills and shortages, not just remote income. The days of easily relocating might be numbered, but here's what's truly wild. Before you sell everything for Ireland, consider this. Portugal's D7 visa has lower income requirements, a 35% cheaper cost of living, 300 days of sunshine annually, and a thriving American expat community in Lisbon and Porto. The healthcare system is ranked higher. And Portuguese people are genuinely welcoming to immigrants. It's part of their cultural identity. Or Spain's new digital nomad visa. Similar weather. Even better food. Healthcare ranks 7th in the world compared to Ireland's 18th. And rent averaging 40% less than Dublin. But here's the absolute craziest part of this entire story. In 2024, more Irish citizens applied for U.S. green cards than Americans applied for Irish residency. We're literally swapping places. Each side thinking the other has it better. Each side running from the same problems. Housing costs, political dysfunction, loneliness, fear about the future. So, is the grass actually greener? Or are we all just running from problems that follow us everywhere? If you're one of the thousands of Americans planning this move, am I bursting your bubble? Or did you already know it wouldn't be easy? And if you're already living in Ireland, am I wrong? Tell me in the comments. Would you do it again, or do you regret it? Drop a 4-leaf clover if you're still moving despite everything I just said, or in crossmark if I just saved you from a massive mistake. And if you want me to expose the real cost of moving to Portugal, Spain, or Italy, with actual numbers nobody talks about, let me know which country to investigate next. Because trust me, every destination has secrets the travel influencers won't tell you.